My name is Emma, and my life has been a canvas of love, mistakes, and hope. As a child, I was an introverted soul, rarely speaking unless spoken to. My parents, though well intentioned, were strict and unyielding. They believed in discipline and obedience above all else. Playtime was a luxury I couldn't afford, and friendships were discouraged. My days were spent within the confines of our home, devoid of the vibrant colors and sounds of childhood. The silence was suffocating, and I often found myself lost in daydreams, imagining a world beyond the walls of our house. I longed to run, to play, and to laugh with other children, but my parents' words echoed in my mind. Stay inside, focus on your studies. The world outside seemed like a distant dream, a place I could only observe from afar. When I finally started school, I was consumed by fear. The thought of interacting with other children, of making friends, and of speaking up in class terrified me. I asked myself, how will I talk to them? What if they don't like me? But as the days went by, I slowly began to break out of my shell. I made a few friends, quiet ones like me, and we would often sit together during recess, sharing our thoughts and secrets. Though I still remained reserved, I found solace in the routine of school life. I enjoyed learning, and my grades were satisfactory. However, my parents remained unconvinced about the importance of extracurricular activities. When I expressed a desire to join art classes, they dismissed it, saying, art is not a viable career path. My love for drawing was stifled, and I was forced to focus solely on academics. As I entered college, I felt a sense of liberation. I was finally free to explore my interests and make new friends. It was here that I met Ryan, a tall, charismatic young man with a quick wit and infectious laughter. He made me feel seen, heard, and appreciated. We would spend hours talking, sharing our dreams and aspirations. Ryan told me I was beautiful, that I was his best friend. For the first time in my life, I felt special. But as our relationship deepened, Ryan's attitude toward my education began to shift. He would often say, why do you need a degree? You can marry me and I'll take care of you. I was young and in love, and his words seemed like a romantic gesture. I didn't realize that I was sacrificing my own dreams for the sake of our relationship. At 18, I dropped out of college and married Ryan. At first, everything seemed perfect. We were happy, and I gave birth to a beautiful daughter, Lily. She was my world, my reason for living. But as time passed, Ryan's behavior began to change. He would dictate what I wore, how I styled my hair, and even what friends I could have. I was isolated, alone, and scared. The abuse started subtly with verbal jabs and criticisms. Ryan would say, you're not a good wife, or you're not good enough. I would cry, feeling small and insignificant. And then one night, the physical abuse began. I was in shock. unable to comprehend why the man I loved could hurt me so deeply. I tried to leave, but I was trapped. I had no money, no support system, and two young children to care for. My parents, though well intentioned, told me to stay in the marriage. "You're married now, make it work," they would say. I felt like I was drowning, with no lifeline in sight. Ryan's infidelity was the final blow. He would flaunt his girlfriends in front of me, telling me that they loved him more than I did. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was disappearing into the darkness of our marriage. When Ryan joined the army, I thought things might get better, but they didn't. He would call me from the front, telling me about his new girlfriend, and I would feel like I was dying inside. I was alone, struggling to make ends meet, and caring for our two children. But even in the midst of despair, I found moments of hope. My children, Lily and Jake, were my reasons for living. They would smile, laugh, and tell me they loved me. In those moments, I knew I had to keep going. One day, my neighbor Sarah knocked on my door. She smiled and said, "Hi, Emma. Do you want to come over for tea?" I was hesitant at first, fearing Rayan's wrath, but something about her kindness and warmth drew me in. I went to her house, and for the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't alone. Sarah listened to my story, and her words were like balm to my soul. She told me, "You're strong, Emma. You can get through this." She encouraged me to start working from home, to pursue my passion for baking. I was skeptical at first, but something inside me sparked to life. I started baking cakes and selling them online. It was hard, but with each order, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. I was doing something for myself, something that brought me joy. When Ryan came home and shouted at me for working, I stood my ground. I told him, "I will not stop. I need to do this for me and for the children." It's been a long journey, but I'm slowly rebuilding my life. I've set boundaries with Ryan, and I've learned to prioritize my own needs. I've started meeting new people, making new friends, and rediscovering the things I love. I've cut my hair short again, and I wear colorful clothes. I feel like myself, like I am emerging from the cocoon of our toxic marriage. My children are my everything. Lily loves drawing and singing, and Jake is a bundle of energy, always laughing and playing. They bring me joy, and I tell myself, be strong for them. I'm not the same scared girl I used to be. I'm stronger, more resilient. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hopeful. I want a safe and happy life for my children. I want to feel free, to be myself without fear of judgment or reprisal. I don't know if Ryan will ever change, but I know I've changed. I'm no longer the silent child, the obedient wife. I'm a woman, strong and determined. To anyone reading my story, I want to say this: you are strong, you are resilient. Don't give up on yourself, even when the darkness seems insurmountable. Keep going, keep pushing. One day you'll find your voice, your strength, and your hope. And when you do, you'll realize that you're capable of overcoming anything.